What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Nick with Leverage Media, and today I want to talk to you about why your website is so important to the success of your Google ad campaign. So with more and more chiropractors running Google ads, with more agencies, looking for ways to kind of make up for Facebook ads starting to deteriorate over time, more offices that I have seen probably ever are now running Google ads. The problem is that Google Ads is something that Google makes it very easy for you to set it up. So some people are running it on their own. Others are having it run by an agency. But again, because they're easy to set up and because a lot of times clients don't know what good or great or bad looks like, they get set up and just kind of like put in a corner. Nobody ever looks at it again, and they just set it up for a couple of important keywords, and then they just kind of let it run. They don't look at all the other parts that, especially the website piece of it, that really matter to the success of the Google ad campaign. So we're going to talk about 3 different ways that your website really makes a difference. So number 1 is on the conversion side of things. So turning that traffic into new patients is the whole point of the Google ad campaign. So you can get clicks, you can get up to the top of the page, you can feel good about your metrics and all of that, but if it's not converting into new patients walking through the door, then it's going to be a negative ROI situation. So making sure that especially your homepage, but really the whole website, is set up to funnel people to a conversion goal. And with most chiropractors, that's going to be scheduling their new patient appointment. If it's something else, if you're looking to get somebody onto a webinar or you want to get them on a mailing list, then you can do that as well. But you want to make sure that you have one goal in mind. When I look at websites, I see, 3, 5, sometimes there's, 10 different types. It's like learn more, click here, opt in, try this. What we want to do is make it very simple for the people that make it onto the website, not just from Google Ads, but for all traffic. And we want to push them towards the one thing that we want them to do, which is usually the next step. And in my opinion, that is scheduling a new patient appointment. So optimizing your website to convert that traffic is going to make that traffic more valuable. A lot of times people are doing Google Ads because their organic rankings are not doing well. So this is a little secret to website companies that maybe aren't great on the SEO side, is that if they are not getting you ranking where you are getting enough traffic, that they know that eventually you're going to move to someone else that will be able to get them. So they'll try to talk you into doing more and more Google ads so that they can, because they know that that's a lot more controllable and they can get that traffic to the website. So making sure that that traffic that you're paying for and that is coming in free organically, but especially that traffic that you're paying for the clicks, that it's converting onto the website itself, and you can track that within Google Ads. So the next thing that's really important is the relevancy factor to Google and the Google ad campaign. So the more relevant that Google finds your website, and especially the landing page that the traffic lands on, the more likely you're going to get cheaper clicks, the more likely you're going to show up at the top of the page, and hopefully the more likely you're going to convert that traffic. But that relevancy factor is super important to just kind of like the front end of Google, meaning like how often are you going to even be able to show up? What's your cost per click? Because if you're spending, let's say you've got a $500 budget and you're spending $15 per click because your relevancy factor is really low. If you could improve that and get that down to $10 per click, that's like a 50%. Well, I guess if you go from 15 to 10, it's like a 33% bump in the traffic that you're able to get just off of the relevancy piece of it. So that's going to be really important in Google's mind. And then thirdly is that once they get onto your website, the better your website is, the more meat on the bone there is, the more that you've created, the more the pictures are of you and your practice, and you've got videos on there, that when people actually, because when people are doing these searches, they normally don't have a dog in the fight. They don't have a chiropractor, and they don't really care one way or another who they go to. That's why they're going to Google and typing in, chiropractor near me. But when they land on your site, if they can really feel like they've found the right fit, then they tend to act more like a referral because they feel like they've discovered you. So the nice part about having good content on your website is they feel like they can start to get to know you, and they're more likely to show up, they're more likely to listen to your recommendations, and they're more likely to start. So if you're just sending them to a sales landing page, they're gonna act closer to what a Facebook lead is gonna act like, even though there's more intention with Google Ads. But if you send them to a website that they really like feel like they've discovered the right fit for them, they're gonna act a lot more like a referral, which is obviously everyone's favorite type of patients. So those are the three ways that I think websites can really impact the success of the campaign. You know, when marketing agencies are talking to you about Google and their report, or Google Ads, and they're reporting to you, a lot of times it's always around click-through rate and cost per click, and sometimes on conversions. But you've got to really take a holistic view of it, and there's other things that are really important to the success that have nothing to do with the bid strategy or the keywords or negative keywords. That where they go to is super important. So that's why we really focus on the story brand side of things, so that we help tell the uniqueness of each office on the website, and that we partner with the doctors to really have their voice be heard, so that when people land on it, they feel like they're talking to the doctor. So if you are struggling with Google Ads, or you're not getting the success that you want out of it, always look to the website first, and make sure that that's those pieces are in place before you start and start messing around with the Google Ads strategy. Because if you're sending good traffic into a bad website, it doesn't matter what you do with the Google Ads side, it's got to be fixed on the website side. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully you guys can get a little bit more success on the Google Ads side of things. We'll see you on the next one.